Hey everybody, it's Mortec here. Got the long-awaited in-depth gold training tutorial. Did up like a gold teaser not too long ago, but it really didn't go into too much detail on how to actually set these things up and just some things to think about as you're starting to build out your islands. Obviously been doing it the right way because I didn't get affected by the gold nerf, so I know my islands are a little bit overkill in terms of kind of having every legendary, but just disregard that and just imagine any legendaries that you've got kicking around, or any of the new ones that you get. You know, most events you end up getting at least one or two legendaries. So you know, until you're really ready to level them right up and put some really good runes on them on the front line, just consider them a minor, and you know, slap some gold runes on them and stick them around. So we'll give you a couple tips that'll really save you a lot of time, because I kind of did things the hard way at first and kind of figured out a few things as I went. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do a collect here. I haven't collected in a little while, so we'll probably do a good little pull. That'll give you some incentive and at least give us some proof in the pudding that Mortec knows what he's doing. So yeah, just give me a minute here and we'll check it out. We had 8 mil there, so already up to 19 just off the main island there. A lot of those ones are actually maxed out, 1 mil. So you can see here I've separated off, like there's no point even boosting any of these regular habitats, so it's all about the legendaries. You can see all these ones are pretty much maxed, 1 mil, 1 mil. Coming around here, look, we're at 34, 35. Again, just you know, nice little island here, but just the bare minimums. Okay, you'll notice that a couple of the smaller islands that I chose for the light and the waters, they've got a, generally speaking, most of them have a lower GPM. The earth and the fire seem to have the most 305 gold per minute. Magic's good as well. So I kind of gave them this full base here. And these suckers fill up pretty fast too. So like I said, I mean, usually I don't let them get maxed out, but I had a busy day. And then the waters as well, I find them to not be as high on the gold. So you can even see all those other ones are max. These ones are only at like 800k. Yeah, so we got 62. So it's a good 50 mil just off the hop. And we all know that gold equals food. So you get these boosts going here. Definitely get your food guardian unlocked, and then just start pumping out some food. So yeah, first thing I'll talk about that'll save you some time is, as you're starting to put together your monsters on your legendary habitats, make sure you're grouping them together in the same element, so that when you go to start boosting them, you've got all like monsters together. If not, you'll end up in a position where you got all these monsters mismatched, and in order for you to move them around, you end up having to, you know, upgrade certain habitats and this and that. So I find if you just get into a habit of putting your like monsters together, it'll save you a lot of time. And when you're going to start building your legendary farms, best piece of advice is to try to scale out and build as many level 1 habitats as possible, because they only cost 2.5 million. So if you think about it, you know, even if you you know, built 5 of those, you're like, you know, 12 million gold. And if you were to just even upgrade that one to a level 4, you're gonna end up costing you over 100 million gold. So what I did is I just peppered all my islands with as many just basic level 1 legendary habitats everywhere, and then I slowly started upgrading them to 2s, and then did them all the 3, and then once I got them all the 3, then I started going through and doing the 4s. So I put off the 4s all the way to the end, It's kind of just a basic principle of return on investment. So, you know, you're going to spend 75 million gold to upgrade it. You know, at what point are you going to recoup that, right? You're going to obviously recoup it a lot faster when you get some boosted level 1s for the price. So, second is placement. So I do advise that you take a look at how I've got my islands laid out. Feel free to copy the designs. I mean, I've even started copying them down to Faith and Solomon, my kids' accounts, just because they're literally they are probably the best way to lay them out to try to maximize how many habitats you can get in and around the boost, and the boost to still be in the proper radius. You can see all these monsters are all boosted here all the way around. I mean, even this little one off in the distance here. You know, a couple of the really good ones here were like even just trying to get this laid out so that I've got all my earth ones here, like way over here, still boosted full here, and then even way down here, they're still boosted by the fire. I put this little metal one. Metal gets the highest right in the middle because I actually have some fires and some earths in there, so they get a double boost if they're close in there. And so you'll see as I started to lay these out, then I did sneak in the higher gold yielding habitats, like the dark metal light in there with the appropriate monsters. So I've still got a little bit of a boost, but honestly they're not worth focusing on. Like, I definitely wouldn't even be able to handle having the nature habitat farms there like a lot of people do, just because you got to get in there and collect on them so fast. So it's all about the legendary habitats, and it's all about making sure as many of them are boosted as possible. So definitely take a look and use, I don't mind if you use my islands as a reference whatsoever. You know, you can come up with some cool little designs, but you can see here, you know, the radius on this, if you look at that circle, I mean, it's perfectly covering the entire island there. So you know, I do see some people, they got boosts way over here where like this tree is off on the side, so you're losing out on the radial spread by doing that. So if you look at the actual radius on this here, right now I'm getting this whole circle, so all of these habitats, what I find is you got about 2 deep all the way around. So if they were perfectly in the middle, I mean, you could have 2, 4, 6, 2, 8, 16 habitats at least totally boosted. So keep that in mind. It all adds up, and when you're talking, you know, 10% times every, you know, habitat or whatever, it really does add up. So yeah, I spent you know, a few good long nights actually just putting them in certain places, moving around, and it took a while, because then if you don't get it right, you don't have enough room to actually move your habitats around, so you end up having to almost clear them all out and try another configuration again until you can see if it'll fit. And it was definitely frustrating, because I would say probably a week after I finished doing my layouts, they released the feature where you can see the grid, because I couldn't see the grid before. So I would actually use some of these little like mushrooms or something like that were just one little pixel to actually test around and make sure and see like where all the actual grid laid. So and then yeah, literally like a week later they're like, oh yeah, new improvement. I was like, oh sweet, that's great. But anyways, yeah, definitely use that, get everything laid out, everything tight. Like, you know, I see people, yeah, they look pretty when you got these little borders and stuff between them, and trust me, I actually had it like that too. But if you want to max out your gold, then just you got 90 habitats. I suggest building as many legendary habitats as you can, spread them out as much as you can, and then start scaling up that way, and you definitely won't regret it. So it was a little bit tricky. I did have to really limit down the number of regular monsters that I have in order to pull that off. But the kind of rule of thumb that I use is either I have 100 cells or an egg in storage, and then I can, you know, remove that monster and not have to worry about it coming up in you know, a breeding challenge, and me, you know, rushing to try to you know, get another one, breed another one, whatever. I haven't yet seen a breeding challenge with like an uncommon or even a rare for that matter. So, you know, you're a little bit safer on those ones. So once you can kind of start doing that and getting rid of some, then you know, you'll be able to free up room, and it's definitely the way to go. If you look at my cells here, you know, I mean, look at all the Rhinex and Rapidex, and I mean, I've extracted 3-4 star monsters just to, you know, make some room. But hey, I need any one of those, I just craft up another one, right? So gold is really important, and if you really want to be able to feed up some level 130s, you need a lot of gold. So use my advice wisely, and just looking at my notes here, some done regulars, and then the runes. So most important part, to be honest, is the gold runes. So make sure, you know, at the very least, you've got level 1 gold runes. You can buy them for gold, get them on sale when they're on sale for half price gold. But you know, definitely get them on there. I get the 2s. You know, I'll take for the 5 gems. You know, I'll load up. I'll get you know, 52s or whatever, and just you know, again, it's return on investment, right? You got those gems. Now you invested. Nice thing about it is that investment lasts forever. So you know, how many times do you burn through those gems, right? Spend them on some gold runes, get them on all your monsters, and then now they're sitting there gold runed up. Oh, look, it's doing 100%. He's a 305, right? So you know, these kind of guys, like, actually, you know, he's not bad, but there's, you know, a lot of monsters that you're not going to end up using. You know, I do find a lot of people are just, you know, getting these new monsters from the events and going straight to 100 with them. You know, trying to use them in war on a war base, and they don't even have unlocked runes. You know, just focus on your key monsters, and any other ones that you get as a bonus, just look at them and think of them as a minor. And you know, the Pixie Lions are great. Yeah, he's not that good, but guess what? He makes 305 GPM. You know, I've only got 2 here. I got a few of them kicking on the kids account, and you know, this one I've actually got pretty low runes. I got 322 on it. I think this one I got boosted up pretty nice, so 108%. So yeah, I got all 3s. You know, if you look over here, I've got a few really big boosted ones here. Yeah, hundreds. The generals are great. So to be honest, you know what? Use the war coins, buy some generals, feed them up to 50. So you see here, level 50. So he gets the max 305, and then just stick him to the gold, and he'll be making a ton of gold. So so that's what I do. And then what I try to do is, as you can see, like on this base here, I've got Tessaday mixed in here with my other 50s. And then I start to do some team runes on team gold runes on some of these. So you see a nice big level 5 team gold. And so what I'm doing there is boosting the actual leveled or ranked up monster that I'm obviously not going to have gold runes on. So so that is another good practice to do, so you can try to boost those up. I've kind of pondered on, and I've seen some setups where they've actually have their attack monsters on other islands that are just away from the boosts because they don't have the gold runes, and then really focus on, you know, this area here could be just all actual, you know, miners with like max gold runes, and then I would have a couple habitats with just the actual attackers on there. So, and what I do is I take advantage of the rune discount when it comes, and I'll pull off, like, if I haven't used a monster in a little while, like for example, I'm waiting for the next rune discount. I'm going to probably decommission some of the runes off of this guy prisoner here. He's good, but I don't tend to use him as much in the water. So I'll go ahead and remove these runes, wait for the discount, and then I'll slap the gold runes on it, and then I've got these sitting in storage ready to go. Yeah, so what else we got? What else? I'm trying to think of some other questions I've had. Yeah, definitely key number 1, don't even bother boosting your regular habitats. If you can fit them in a little bit around there, do it, but do it on the outer rim. So, you know, even if these end up being like a 30%, that you're not doing that on your actual legend habitat. And yeah, I get in the top 500 gold fever every time now, and yeah, it's a little bit of a science. It's been fun building these things out. when you're building out your, if you don't have boosts, you know, these ones take forever to build. So I would suggest you start with the Earth and Fire. They're the cheapest. They're actually the ones that make usually the most gold when it comes to the monsters. So do all 4 fire, all 4 earth. Get those. You want to get the 4, so you're doing the 40%. You know, I see a lot of people's islands where they've just got, you know, 2 fire, 2 earth. You know, 1 magic, 1 thing. So don't even worry about that. Like, try to do, like, these ones are the cheapest ones. They're only like 1 million. So for 4 mil, you got 4 gold, 4 fire bursts. I gotta go get that buddy of mine here. So anyways, that's gonna wrap things up here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'll be happy to answer. Like I said, use my bases as a guide. You can see how I've kind of positioned things to max my my space out, and yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side.